Yes, indeed. It's Wrestling Uncensored. Tonight on the show, we're previewing WWE Night of Champions and AEW Double or Nothing. Jeez, I sure hope we get Double and not Nothing. I don't want Nothing. Johnny, you're not nothing. You're a person. There you are. How are you?
Just ready for a long weekend of wrestling. We've already had a long night of wrestling so far, and it's not even over yet.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of wrestling. It's a lot, right? It's a lot coming up
Well,
on
as long
weekend.
as it's good. As long as it's good. It hasn't been great tonight, but hopefully in the weekend it's good.
Yeah. You going to watch NXT Battleground on Sunday? Is that what we're talking about here tonight? The big NXT show in a location like outside of their Florida confines?
Yeah, it's somewhere. I want to say somewhere in the Northeast, more than likely. I will not be watching that, though, because it's already watching way too much. So another 2-3 hours, no thanks.
Lowell, Massachusetts. Lowell, Massachusetts is where NXT will be. They have a show, and I guess running opposite Double or Nothing, counter programming. Right?
Well, I think it's a bit earlier than day, though, if not mistaken.
Is it? Okay. So they're just doing a show on a Sunday afternoon for no reason? I don't know why. Let me run down the card for you just in case you're interested. We're not going to watch it. We're not going to preview it. But Carmelo Hayes will be defending the NXT Championship against Braun Breaker. Lyra Valkyria, no relation to Taya Valkyrie, I guess, will take on Tiffany Stratton in the tournament final for the vacant NXT Women's Championship. Why is it vacant? Champion got hurt?
Well, and she also got drafted to Raw, if I remember correctly, Indy Hartwell.
She was the champion? Okay.
Yep.
Noam Dar, he's still around, defending the NXT Heritage Cup against Dragon Lee in a British Rounds rules match. I mean, that could be good. I don't see much of Dragon Lee. He's excellent. That could be very good, actually. I don't know what the NXT Heritage Cup is. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about those rules, so I don't know.
Triple threat match for the NXT North American Championship. Wes Lee defending against Tyler Bate and Joe Gacy. Ilya Dragunov takes on Dijak in a last man standing match, which, I mean, yeah, on paper that sounds good, right? Sounds all right.
Yeah, sure. It sounds all right, yeah.
And NXT tag team titles on the line. Gallus, the tag team champions Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, defending against the Creed brothers, Brutus and Julius Creed. Never heard of them. But that's the NXT show on Sunday.
Seen them before. I mean, they're not great, but that's why they're NXT, to get better.
Mm-hmm. They exist. They're in NXT. I'm watching The Acclaimed right now, cut a promo. They just won a match with the Ass Daddy. Do The Acclaimed have a match this weekend?
You know, I'm guessing this is them challenging the House of Black, because House of Black don't have a match, right, for Double or Nothing, so I would think they're going to challenge House of Black, I'm guessing.
On my card, it's official. They do have a match. It's The Acclaimed and Daddy Ass against the House of Black for the AEW Trios titles. That's a match that's apparently made.
There you go.
So we're going to get to AEW and Double or Nothing, but I think we should start with Night of Champions because that's where our weekend will start, right? We'll start with WWE Night of Champions tomorrow afternoon. And they keep saying Night of Champions tomorrow afternoon. They kept saying it on SmackDown. And it just sounds weird, you know? Night of something tomorrow afternoon. And it's the only pay-per-view they ever do that's called Night or Night of something. You know, like, it's not like Hell in a Cell Night or Extreme Rules Night or WrestleMania Night. You know, I mean, it's WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 now, I guess. But you know what I'm saying? They could just do WrestleMania Day 1 and have it in the afternoon. My point being, this is a rare afternoon show from the WWE, and it's called Night of Champions, which is the only pay-per-view name that they have with the word night in it. And it's not at night, because they keep telling us, the audience, it's on in the afternoon, because most people that are watching, where we live, it's afternoon. Or morning on the West Coast.
But in Saudi Arabia, it's going to be at night, so for them.
I know, but you know what I mean? Like, why did they choose Night of Champions to be the afternoon pay-per-view? Couldn't they have... I think the original plan was King of the Ring for this, or... Anyways.
Right.
They could have called it anything. Armageddon, Crown Jewel, you know what I mean? Like, they could have gone with another Crown Jewel.
Not Armageddon. That wouldn't fly, I don't think. No.
Okay. Whatever.
Saudi Arabia. I get what you're saying. Like, Clash Champions would have been better, possibly. But
yeah.
I think for them, they've established Night of Champions, that this little thing about afternoon, night, it's not a big deal for them. It's an established brand already. They're not going to make another name for it, Afternoon of Champions. That sounds kind of weird. So
yeah.
I'm
not saying change it to Afternoon of Champions. I'm just saying have the foresight when you have a rare afternoon pay-per-view to not give it the rare night name. I just think it's weird, but whatever. It's a minor detail, I suppose. Seth freaking Rollins and AJ Styles, big match here for the first ever, they're saying, World Heavyweight Championship in the WWE, although I read somewhere where the lineage of the title will at some point date back to Triple H and when he was the World Heavyweight Champion and all the World Heavyweight Champions in WWE when they had the big gold belt. But AJ Styles tonight on SmackDown said he would be the first WWE World Heavyweight Champion, which is a stretch, but whatever. It's the new belt. It's the Raw belt. It's not red. Give them that. They didn't paint it red. Okay. I think that's a plus.
Yeah.
Could have made it like a big, ugly red thing that they have for some of their belts. At least it's black and gold. So it's not terrible. A lot of people don't like the look of it, but, I mean, whatever. They have uglier belts, is what I'm saying. Seth and AJ Styles is the big match for me. We have Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar one-on-one. We have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defending the tag team titles against Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Gunther defending the Intercontinental Championship against Mustafa Ali. Bianca Belair defending the Raw Women's title against Asuka, even though they're both still on SmackDown. Rhea Ripley defending the SmackDown Women's title against Natalya, even though they're both on Raw. And Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus one-on-one.
I mean, on paper, it's okay. It's not the greatest premium live event I think we've gotten so far this year. We've had some really good ones so far. However, there's potential for it to be really good. And I imagine, again, the atmosphere, just the whole setup will be fantastic. So that's going to add a lot to it. As long as you get some good wrestling, I think it'll be fine. I just worry, this is what, like 7, 8 matches? I feel like it's one match too many almost, it feels like.
7.
7, yeah. 5 would have been better. But.
It's supposed to start at 1 p.m. and be over by 4. So.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Wait and see. I mean, if they keep things short, I just don't see that with 8 matches, though.
What headlines? What is the closer of the show? Is it Roman Reigns?
Yeah, it should be.
Yep. I don't disagree with that. I think Roman closes the show. What opens? Seth and AJ? Get it over with? Figure out who the champion is and then see whatever else is going on?
Yeah, I'd do that. Makes sense.
I think that's a bad move. I wouldn't do that. I'd almost put Seth and AJ at the end because to me that's the match where something's on the line. I know it's all championship matches except for Cody and Brock and Becky and Trish, but the rest, we got belts, but I don't buy any title changes anywhere else. This is the only match where we're guaranteed a new champion. It feels like the most important match on the card as far as the future of WWE and what's going on, in a main event way. I think Seth and AJ should close the show, but because Roman is on the show, he probably will because, he's the main star in WWE. But
Yep.
I don't know. His match is not the one that's drawing for me. It's, who are they going to make their new champion, Seth or AJ? And you see the reports on the internet. It's like, well, it could be Seth. It could be AJ. Not sure. It's not clear who the WWE is going to choose. I feel like it's going to be Seth. I'd love it to be AJ. I'd love to give AJ another run with a big belt and see what he does. I think that'd be fun. AJ and Cody? Tell me you wouldn't want to see that right now for the belt. I'd rather see AJ and Cody than Seth and Cody.
Yeah, but you and I both know that's not going to happen, though. This title was built for Seth, since it came in. He did that promo saying that they need this title. He's the right guy for it. It seems like it was made for him. So, as much as I like it today, it's going to be Seth.
Yeah, but like you said, he said he was going to be the workhorse champion. He was going to be there every week, not like Roman Reigns. And then he's not on the show for 2 weeks leading into his title match because he's shooting a movie and he's doing these pre-tape promos with Corey Graves that are mid at best.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I don't know. I think that the build for this match has hurt Seth. I think it's made him look, not present and also not that strong. While AJ Styles, he's having matches. He's out there. He's beating Karrion Kross tonight on SmackDown. And AJ Styles is just more fun for me. I prefer watching AJ Styles. I think he's a better performer in every way. Promos, matches, look, everything over Seth. So if it's who do you choose, Seth or AJ? Well, I'm going to choose AJ every time. He's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. He's up there.
I agree with you. But I feel WWE doesn't look at it that way. If it's a guy they can put over, it's Roman or Seth.
Sometimes they give AJ his due. AJ's had some decent runs in WWE, and I feel like at any time they could push that AJ Styles button, and then bada bing, bada boom, you have a main eventer again. And they need new guys in the main event. You give AJ the belt here, he's a main eventer again. He's running Raw. He's got his whole crew. He's a champion. You don't give AJ the belt here, he's just another guy on SmackDown. And he's a guy that is a legit main eventer that you could believe in big-time matches. And if you built him correctly, you might even believe him beating Roman Reigns down the road. It's not going to happen, but, if you give AJ a solid run, he's AJ Styles. You can believe in a guy like that. He's a proven commodity. Seth Rollins, his title runs have not been strong. AJ's had some very good title runs in WWE. I'd say much better than Seth's.
I agree with you, but this title was made for Raw, and they're just going to give it to a SmackDown guy? It was a weird setup to begin with.
Yeah.
But I think we all realize, a guy from Raw is going to win it. AJ has a group on SmackDown. They're just going to make him disband the group right away when they just brought it together.
Move them all over to Raw, I think.
That'd be great. But I feel like that's kind of messy, though, if they do that, because you just did that to SmackDown, and they're going to move to Raw. It's easier just Seth wins the title, and that's it. No one makes any moves.
It's messy, and it isn't. Raw, if you look at the show, needs something.
Well, it'll need more than just the OC, I think, to be honest.
I think you do the OC against Judgment Day, there's a lot of stuff you could do there.
Oh, we kind of already did that already, if you remember correctly, before AJ got hurt.
Well, with the belt, it's more important, I guess.
Oh, I still don't want to see that, to be honest.
That's how you get Dominic a run with the belt. That's who Cody's going to beat for the belt. Dominic. Dominic gets it first.
We're really hitting the low tier here now, it looks like.
Oh, the way things are going.
This is the best ideas.
Yeah. I don't know. I think moving AJ over to Raw would help Raw. You got to help Raw in some way. It's the inferior show still. When you watch Raw and SmackDown, it's like, well, SmackDown's more enjoyable on a week-to-week basis. So Raw needs
Except
something. Tonight was not good. But tonight was a show that they taped last week after the show, right? Because they're in Saudi Arabia right now, so they taped SmackDown tonight after last week's SmackDown. And it was a B-level show. It wasn't great. Some decent Roman Reigns stuff, but, we'll get there. AJ Styles beat Karrion Kross tonight on SmackDown. Cut a little promo about the match. And Seth Rollins, like I said, he did a backstage interview thing with Corey Graves, which wasn't great. I was waiting for it to kind of kick off, but it never really did. The whole tease was what he thinks about Roman Reigns. And he's like, I love him, but I don't like him, and I don't like the person he's become, and he's got no respect for the championship. And it's like, all right. There wasn't much there, Nope. There wasn't much to hang on to. There wasn't a lot of meat in the promo. And that's all Seth really delivered this week. And that's how we stumbled into this championship match at this pay-per-view. I think Seth probably wins. And then weak, And then what? Seth and Cody for the belt or something? I mean, even then, I don't think you go there right away with Seth and Cody. And the Raw landscape. I mean, what?
Well, for Money in the Bank, who do you think is going to win that, though? I think Cody's a high favorite, and Cody's the kind of guy, too, who wouldn't cheat. He'd accept the challenge right away, and I see him going after Seth, maybe cashing in at SummerSlam. So you're right, maybe not the first challenger for Seth. Seth probably face someone else in Money in the Bank. Maybe someone like Finn makes sense. But that's about it. There's not a lot of big-time challenges right now for him.
That's why AJ Styles would be more interesting as champion.
Well, I agree, but sadly, I don't think they're going that direction. That'd be good, but they love Seth too much not to give him the title.
Yeah. It's too bad. They have opportunities. This is an opportunity. I don't think they're going to take it. Seth freaking probably going to be World Heavyweight Champion. I'd be real happy to see AJ win. I just don't see it. I don't see it. What else do we have? Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. Cody Rhodes has a broken arm going into this match.
And still a lot to wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stupid.
Yeah. I was quite annoyed watching this thing where Brock had Cody in the Kimura and he supposedly broke his arm. But the way Brock had it's a shoulder lock, a Kimura, for the most part. And I was like, you can't break a guy's arm like that in a Kimura. You can't do it. It's a shoulder lock. It pops your shoulder out. But then I was corrected on Twitter by the great Olivier Aubé-Mercier. I don't know if you saw this, John, but
No.
Great, the Canadian gangster.
Sure you have the tweet.
Yeah, somewhere.
But I thought the whole
But
thing
you can
was
break the arm in a Kimura if you attack it like at the elbow. If you can attack it at the elbow and just kind of bend the elbow backwards or forwards, you bend it far enough and the arm will just snap, right? So you can do that, but that's not what Brock was doing. He had it, in guard where it'd be more like a shoulder lock where your shoulder would just kind of pop out.
Right.
I don't have the tweet here, but it's not important. But he said that was incorrect, and he is correct about that. And I was like, oh, yeah. And it's funny, too, because somebody else was like, yeah, it happened in this fight, Frank Mir and Nogueira. And I was like, oh, yeah, I was at that fight. I've seen it happen. I've seen somebody's arm break in a Kimura. It just, the way I remembered it being an Americana for some reason, which is kind of the opposite way. It's like this way instead of this way. But you can break somebody's arm in a Kimura. It's just it's rare. Usually it's a shoulder lock. You don't see the arm break that way. And the way Brock was holding it, it wasn't where he was kind of popping the elbow. He was more, I don't know if you can see it, like here. Like, he wasn't doing this in a Kimura. He was doing more, of this, where the shoulder is extended.
Right.
I don't know if you get what I'm doing.
I get what you're doing. I remember how he had it locked, so I remember that.
So they said he broke his arm that way, and it's like, well, I don't know. It didn't. I didn't buy it, but I mean, it's pro wrestling, so it is what it is. But it's a little detail.
If I remember correctly from that Mir Nogueira fight, Nogueira didn't even give up. Like, he just let his arm get broken, but they had to stop the fight.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, because you can't fight with a broken arm.
Yeah, that's where you probably should have tapped before, but Nogueira doesn't tap. Some guys don't tap. That's a toughness that I don't have. I tap. When I'm in trouble, I tap. The other day, I almost got choked just unconscious. I saw, like, everything. I was rolling with...
You saw stars?
I mean, just the kind of walls start closing in on you, And I'm like, I'm in a triangle, and I think I'm all right, and then I wasn't all right. And the walls start closing in on me, and I'm like, uh-oh. And I tapped, and I got out of it. But when I was out of it, I was like, whew, I had to give myself a second. It happens. It happens. You don't want to tap prematurely. You try to work your way out, and sometimes you can't. And things get wacky. That's the world of jiu-jitsu.
I don't know if you caught Corey Graves on commentary. I thought he was, like, kind of talking about you, about the situation, saying, like, there's no doubt about it that there was an arm, that he broke his arm. No one can debate that now.
Oh,
I thought that was maybe a shot on you. I'm not.
I don't think Corey Graves knows who I am, so I doubt that.
No, but they checked Twitter, and maybe your tweet got out there.
Maybe. I mean, Olivier Aubin, who's like he won the PFL tournament for $1 million. He won $1 million in a fight. He saw me. He sees me. I see him. He's fighting again coming up June something. He's 23rd, I think his fight is. June 23rd, another fight in the PFL tournament. So, definitely support Olivier Aubin. He's the man. Great fighter. Great fighter out of Montreal, kicking ass on the international stage. PFL champion. PFL 155-pound champion. Can't mess with that. It's legit. Legit as it gets.
I think we're on the air at that time, no? Because it's a Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, probably be a Friday. We'll be checking it out. I think it'll probably be earlier on in the night. PFL's usually like a 8 o'clock start. Usually.
Okay.
All right. What else do we have here at Night of Champions? We've got Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar, like we were talking about there with the Kimura. Cody's got a broken arm, apparently. Triple H. Cody Rhodes was refusing medical attention, so Triple H had to tell him, you have to have medical attention. They need to see your arm. And Cody was like, no. So Triple H is like, okay, can't let him wrestle with a broken arm, but apparently they will, because they let him wrestle with a torn pec, right? Or was it pec? It was a pec, right?
Yeah, it was torn pec, yeah.
So, I guess broken arm, torn pec, doesn't really matter if you're Cody Rhodes. You can't beat Brock Lesnar with a broken arm, though. I mean, it's not really broken, but what I'm saying is, in the story, it's broken, and in the story, it would make very little sense if he manages to beat Brock Lesnar with that broken arm. Then again, he beat Seth Rollins where he was clearly injured and then had to leave for almost a year after surgery for the torn pec, and he still managed to beat Seth in Hell in a Cell. So maybe Cody is just unstoppable. The only man that can stop him is Tribal Chief.
Well, I'm thinking this is where Brock kind of takes him out for a little bit, and maybe they do the third match at SummerSlam. That'd make a lot of sense. Unless Cody wins this one, and they just, decide Cody's done with Brock. Maybe this is the end of Brock and Cody. I think Brock's going to win, though, and I definitely think we're going to get a third match, but it's not impossible that Cody becomes superhuman and can beat Brock.
Yeah, beating Brock here would be a bit of a stretch. It'd be a bit of a stretch. I think Brock probably wins, but pushing it all the way to SummerSlam is a long time. You're really going to give Cody that much time off? You're going to give him June and July off?
If I'm not mistaken, it's like the first week of August or end of July, SummerSlam, something like that.
August
Comes
5th.
up really quick.
August 5th.
There you go. Comes up
yeah,
quick.
but dude, you're talking about him getting beat up on May 27th and then not being in WWE again for 2 months? Not wrestling for 2 months? Yeah, it's over 2 months. It's all of June, it's end of May, all of June, all of July, and then August where he wrestles again against Brock. That's a long time. I think you do it at Money at the Bank in London. It's in London, don't forget. It's a big one. It's like a giant show for them, July 1st. I think that's where you do the third match, Cody Brock. So you get June off, but you wrestle in July. August is too long of a wait.
All right, let them build. Like, let them build on television with that. I think that's fine. Like, Money in the Bank, you have two ladder matches. You're going to have 2 world title matches, and you're going to have that Brock match. That's a lot. Like, you're already getting enough.
What are the first 2 matches for, if not to build for the third match? The build should already be there.
Yeah,
no?
They'll build some more. They love building.
What are you talking about? You're crazy.
Look at the bloodline.
You always do this. This is something you do a lot, John. You go, they're going to do this match in like 3 pay-per-views. And I go, why not just do it at the next pay-per-view? And you're like, no, they're going to build it. You did this with Becky and Trish. I was like, Becky and Trish, you get it done as soon as possible, Night of Champions. And you were like, SummerSlam. I was like, SummerSlam? This takes forever. And you're like, no, the build. I was like, I don't know. I think they're going to do it as soon as possible whenever Becky's not injured because they wanted to do it. And here we go, Night of Champions, it's happening. Yeah, I think you're going to be wrong about this, John. Mark my words. All right, mark them.
All right, we're marking them.
We're marking the words. Don't be a mark on my words. Are you a mark for my words? Brock Lesnar over Cody Rhodes is our official pick. Are we picking the same so far? We got Seth, we got Brock.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
WWE, I think we're going to be a lot of the same. Maybe AEW will be different.
How about the Bloodline, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? There was some stuff here with the Bloodline tonight. Jimmy Uso's not happy with Roman Reigns, right? There was some friction.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit? I mean, did you not see the end of SmackDown?
You know, he wasn't doing the whole finger up and all that, but they were standing tall.
Yeah, but Jimmy didn't pose with the rest of the team. Jimmy was unhappy. Jimmy didn't like it.
Oh, well, like, too bad. Like, they were still standing tall. Like, it's not like he got mad and started attacking Roman. Like Roman said, like, take your shot. He never took a shot, so kind of punked him out there.
Roman Reigns, the Usos, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman were backstage on SmackDown. And Heyman says, Roman feels bad about you guys not coming to Saudi Arabia, so he wants you to be at SmackDown next week for the 1,000-day celebration. So Roman will be champion for 1,000 days next week on SmackDown. They do a whole party. And Roman says, I want the whole family there, especially Jay. And then Jimmy's like, you see what I'm saying? He's always, ugh. And he gets mad and he stands up. And Roman's like, sit down. And Jimmy doesn't want to sit down. And Roman's like, don't make me whoop you like I did when we were kids. I've been whooping you our whole lives, and I'm going to do it again. Don't make me beat you up here. And he gets in Jimmy's face. And Roman says, acknowledge me now and leave my locker room. And Jay, he's like, okay, let's go. And he takes his brother and they leave. So that was earlier in the night. And then in the main event story thing that they did, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are hosting the Kevin and Sami show, and the guests are supposed to be Roman and Solo. Paul Heyman comes out instead and says that, Tribal Chief will come out when he wants to. So the Usos come out, and they're they say that, oh, Kevin and Sammy, you're all worried about Roman and Solo when you should be worried about us because we're right in your face. And then Kevin Owens goes on and on about Roman Reigns. He doesn't treat you guys well, and he uses you, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, all right, how many times are Kevin and Sammy going to tell the Usos that Roman is mean to them? And it took forever, and I'm done with it, you know? Roman is not nice to you. You are being abused by your cousin. Okay. They clearly are fine with it. Like, I don't know. What do you want from them? And then Kevin says, you don't do anything without Roman's approval. And Jimmy says, well, for the Usos from day one, I'm the tribal chief. And I was like, what? What do you mean you're the tribal chief? And then Roman Reigns comes out, and he's all mad, and he gets in Jimmy Uso's face. And Sammy gets on the mic and tells Roman, you see what's happening? The bloodline, it's collapsing all around you, and it's all your fault. And Roman doesn't like that, so he gets in Sammy's face. But then Kevin Owens hits Roman with a stunner, and the Usos then jump Sammy and Kevin, and they start brawling. Solo Sikoa comes out to just stop everything. He hits a Samoan spike on Kevin Owens, knocks him dead. Kevin Owens is then down for the next 5 minutes while drama unfolds. Solo hits Sami Zayn with the Samoan spike. Sammy's like dead. And then Roman tells Solo to pick up Sammy so that he could spear him, and he spears him. And then the Usos have Kevin and Sammy's tag team belts, and they're holding them. And Jay gives his belts to Solo. And Roman wants Jimmy to give the belts that he's picked up to him. But Jimmy doesn't want to do it. So Jay takes the belts from Jimmy, and he's like, I'll do it. And he gives them to Roman. And then Roman stands tall with all the belts. And Solo and Heyman and Jay pose with Roman. But Jimmy stays in the corner because he's sulking. And Kevin and Sammy... I mean, this took way longer than how long it took me to explain what happened. I wish it were that succinct. I really do. Because it took forever for all this to go down. Like Roman looking at Jimmy, Jimmy looking at Roman, Jay looking at Jimmy, Solo just looking, Heyman looking like, oh, you know? I mean, it took forever. And the whole time, Kevin and Sammy have to sell. And Kevin is selling, a thumb to the neck, which, okay, he got him good or whatever, but, dude, a long time to sell that thing. A long time. And so Jimmy has friction with Roman, which, whatever. I don't care anymore about any of that. It's like, it's dragged on for so long that I'm done with it. I don't care. I kind of want Roman and Solo to take the tag team belts, too. Because Kevin and Sammy, I think, would be better off without them.
Interesting. I don't think they're going to lose, though. It just, again, first time them being in Saudi Arabia wrestling together. This is kind of a huge moment for them. And Roman's not going to lose the titles, but you've seen there's friction with the Usos. They're not supposed to be in Saudi Arabia, but they will be, I think. They have a perfect way for them to lose, so I think that's what's going to happen.
Maybe the Usos are in Saudi Arabia and they cost the match for Roman and Solo. Or maybe Roman and Solo just win. Because if the Usos cost the match for Roman and Solo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who takes a fall? I mean, no matter what, even if the Usos have a chair and they hit somebody in the head accidentally, and that person is pinned by Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn, you're talking about either Roman Reigns taking a fall, which doesn't happen, or Solo Sikoa taking a fall, which also doesn't happen. Like, these guys have not lost in... I don't think Solo's taken a loss since he's been called up to the main roster. And Roman hasn't
Cody
taken...
right before WrestleMania.
Okay. Cody. So I guess I guess he could be the one to take the fall here. Maybe. Not Roman, though. Right?
No, not Roman. But if anything, I mean, probably more likely for like a DQ, maybe. I could see that happening.
Yeah. I don't see them losing and anybody taking a pin. If Roman and Solo lose, I don't think they get pinned. Even if it's like a chair shot to the head. I don't think they get pinned.
Well, goes to show you how strongly they've been booked. That you believe something else instead of them actually losing.
Mm-hmm.
They've been protected quite well. But regardless, I think Sammy and Kevin walk out of Saudi Arabia still tag champs.
And then what do they do in the tag team division?
Oh, good question. Not really sure.
You know what I'm saying?
More endless tag team stuff that doesn't really do much. 4-way tag matches, stuff like that.
Unless they have Randy Orton and Matt Riddle ready to go and feud with Kevin and Sammy, whatever's next for Kevin and Sammy is going to be a huge step down. Huge.
Yep.
If I were them, I would be begging to drop those belts. Because you drop the belts. We just talked about how weak the Raw main event scene is. Aren't they both on Raw?
They are, yeah.
Dude. Raw needs them as singles wrestlers. With this new belt, with what they have, they need to be solo by themselves way more than they need to be tag team champions. For them, for their careers, for what's next, and for the WWE as a whole. I think Roman and Solo taking the tag belts, it continues to present this interesting story with the Usos, and it's like, well, you're the tag team champion guys, right? You're the greatest tag team of all time, Usos, but we're the tag team champions, and there's nothing you could do about it. And maybe there is something they could do about it where the Usos take the belts from Solo and Roman. I think there's stuff there to be done. I think there's way more stuff to be done in that direction than there is with a tag team division that doesn't exist for Kevin and Sammy. What are they going to do? Wrestle the Viking Raiders, the Street Profits? I mean, there's very little to do for those guys. And even if they do have a feud with those guys, it won't be meaningful. The WWE clearly invests nothing in their tag team division, and it's going to be a massive step down from working with Roman Reigns and the Usos and the top guys in the wrestling business. You're going to go from working the top guys in the wrestling business to working very, very mid to low level people. And that sucks. And that's not great for Kevin and Sammy. They are better than that. They deserve better than that. So I would prefer they drop the belts and then they feud with each other or with whoever is in the world title picture.
I don't disagree with you on that one, but I just feel like they aren't done with them as tag champs. They probably have some idea of what they're going to do, and probably going to use them to help elevate the tag team. So,
who are they really going to elevate? Like, come on, man. Look at who's there, and give me a team that like legitimately would be a money-drawing feud for Kevin and Sammy right now in WWE.
Well, I think Judgment Day is going to happen. Like, I'm not big on that, but I think they're big on that, so I think that's going to happen.
That sucks.
I'm not saying it's great, but...
And what is that? Who is that? Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio? Dominic and Rhea?
I go with that. I go with Priest and Mysterio.
That's not great.
I mean, you think about it. It's not great, but that's the top faction on Raw. So it would make the most sense.
Yeah. But don't you agree with me that they would be better served in the main event on Raw instead of in the tag team division that's really nothing?
Sure, but you're probably going to have Seth Rollins as the champion, a face. Doesn't really work right now. They're all faces against each other.
The Seth AJ match, I mean, they're both baby faces, I guess, right? Kind of weird.
Yep. It's kind of weird, and they're just going for, like, we just want a good wrestling match. That's what we want the title to be about, some good wrestling. But there's not going to be it's not a lot of heat. That's the problem with those kind of matches. Like, yeah, it's good wrestling, but there's no, like, oh, you're really pulling for that guy. You want both guys to win, so it kills the heat.
I want AJ to win, I think, but you know.
Well, you have a bias. We both have biases on this one, but most fans, like everyone, you would have the whole, like, let's go AJ, let's go Seth kind of dueling chants, so just makes it kind of a moot kind of situation.
Yeah. I wonder who the babyface is going to be in the Roman and Solo versus Kevin and Sammy match in Saudi Arabia. People love Roman.
Yeah, but I think Sammy and Kevin are loved too.
We'll see. So I think I'm going to go with Roman and Solo. I think they're going to win the tag belts somehow. Wow. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's good to be different. Like, it's not impossible. I mean, I'd love to see it. I just don't believe WWE would do it.
I think they're going to do it. I think it makes sense. Gunther. I mean, Roman dedicated the win to the greatest tag team of all time, the Wild Samoans. Last week on SmackDown, he dedicated the victory at Night of Champions to those guys. You think he's going to dedicate a victory to those guys and not win? This is the Tribal Chief we're talking about. I think he's winning.
I mean, again, because the Usos, that's why. And we already have the celebration for the 1,000 days as champion. Another celebration as tag team champ. Like, you kind of don't need it.
I mean, it would look pretty cool.
It's not needed. It's like you have celebration, and then it's like, well, we still have a bit of a downer because you guys screwed up.
You want to elevate the tag team titles, you give them to Roman Reigns. That's how you elevate the tag team titles.
Yeah, well, there's nowhere to go after that. No, that's
the Usos, and then the Usos take it from them. And then you're back to normal.
Yeah, but you're not changing much by doing that.
You're freeing up Kevin and Sammy is what you're doing. Because it's hard to fathom them losing to anybody in WWE right now.
It's going to happen. Like, just be patient. I don't see them as champions, like, by the end of the summer. Like, they won't be tag champions anymore, I don't think.
But who beats them? Like, who's legit enough to beat them?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know.
Like, whoever beats them would be a massive upset. You know what I mean?
Of course. But it'll be like 4-way tag or something like that. So it's like, well, they didn't really even lose then,
Like I said, the only team that could legitimately come back and show up and beat them would be Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. But I haven't heard that Randy's coming back anytime soon. Haven't seen Randy.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to come back. I hope so. But who knows? Like, there's a chance Randy might never come back. So that idea might never happen, sadly.
Yeah. Well, I hope he does. WWE needs him. He's a top talent. He's a main eventer. What else do we have on this card? Gunther defending the Intercontinental title against Mustafa Ali. I mean, could be a fun little match. Could be fun, They're good wrestlers.
After Raw, where Brock, like, pretty much, like, embarrassed him with that comment.
Get a life? He told him to get a life?
Yeah. Get a life, kid.
Yeah.
Like, you're done. Like,
he's done?
Like, he did the whole thing where he's like, he's not believing himself, and then Brock destroys him with that.
Yeah.
Like, he's finished. Like, you're not even close to being a challenger anymore. It's gonna be a complete squash.
As it should be.
It's sad. It's very sad how it could have been something more, but they don't want it to be.
The promo has never worked. He's missing something.
Yeah, but the talent's there. It's too bad.
Yeah, that's why I think the match could be good. Maybe, he elevates himself in this match with Gunther. This is an opportunity. I think Gunther wins, though. I think we both think he'll win.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair versus Asuka. Bianca cut a promo in the ring tonight. Asuka attacked her during the promo, and they got separated by refs and agents. Bianca had her hands they were all green. They were stained green. And I was like, why are her hands green? And then I was like, oh, I know why her hands are green. Because this show was taped after last week's show. And last week's show, she got all that mist all over her. And the dye didn't wash out of her hands. So her hands are still green from last week. Which looks kind of weird
hilarious
for a TV show that's supposed to be a week later. But whoops.
I guess she doesn't like to shower a lot. So...
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, the viewers at home that aren't aware of all the little intricacies of when the show was recorded and everything are like, Bianca not wash herself in a week? Or what's going on? Does that dye never come out? What's the deal? Does she have green hands permanently? Is she the Incredible Hulk? What's the situation? Yep.
It would be amazing in Saudi Arabia if she comes out with green hands. It's not going to happen, but it'd be kind of funny.
She's just that green. She's got green hands. She's a green hand. Some people are good hands. She's green hand. So there's that. You don't want to be a green hand, right?
No.
Bianca's good, though. I like Bianca. I'm not saying anything bad about her. Just making jokes. I think Bianca retains the Raw Women's Championship.
Yeah, I'll agree with you, Nick Cannon. No question.
What?
Because he made a joke about Bianca Belair. You didn't see that?
No. Oh God.
Oh, it was a pretty crude joke. So
I don't even think. Oh, what was it?
Something about like impregnating her or something like that.
Oh.
Like, so, right in front of Montez too. Like, I was
really?
Like, wow. yeah. But it was a show, so I guess they were just telling jokes.
How did Montez take it?
He fired back, saying like, "Don't you already have enough kids, Nick?"
Yeah, he's got like 52 kids, I think. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's obscene how many children that man has. It's kind of offensive, to be honest. I doubt he cares for them all in a way that's sufficient for them. Maybe for him it's fine, but for the kids as they grow up, not knowing their father, how are they gonna like that? Can't imagine it'll be great. So there's that. But maybe they don't want to know him because he's Nick Cannon. When Nick Cannon's your dad, maybe you don't want to know him. Maybe you want nothing to do with him because it's Nick Cannon. I get it.
We got a bit of a brawl like breaking out here. Looks like on Rampage.
Yeah, there was a match between some guys. Big Bill and Lee Moriarty beat the Best Friends. Was that the main event of Rampage?
That was.
Wow. Yikes. And now there's like a brawl with Kip Sabian.
I think Luther was there.
It's a jobber brawl breaking out on Rampage. Kip Sabian. Who's the guy in the mask? Is that Serpentico?
I think that was Commander, no?
I don't know. Here's Orange Cassidy. Oh, it's a tease for the Battle Royal for Orange Cassidy's international belt.
Ah.
Yikes. Let's finish this WWE thing before we get to the AEW. Bianca over Asuka? Yes? Agreed?
Agreed, yeah.
Next. Rhea Ripley defending the SmackDown Women's title over Natalya? Yeah.
Wow. It's really hard to pick these ones. Yeah. I guess I'll go with Rhea, I guess.
Is it going to be Natalya, who loses every match she's ever in, or Rhea Ripley, who beats up half the guys on the roster on a weekly basis? I think it'll be Rhea Ripley. She's got to stop beating up guys all the time. Like, because the more she does it, the more it's like, well, one of these giant guys is going to get annoyed at her and just kind of toss her aside at some point. No, like, it's cool that she can do it and they do it once in a while, but it can't be her gimmick. It's too much. Makes Dominic look really weak. You know, makes him look extra weak.
The main problem with this is like this. All this was what, a promo, and she stood up for Dana Brooke. That's the whole feud right here.
Is that it?
And that justified. Yeah, that's it. That justified this match happening. Is like, that's a little ridiculous, but fine. Like, this feels like a throwaway match. Like, no offense to Natty, but there's no true build towards this. You haven't even really seen Natty wrestle, I think, on Raw lately. So this, I'm not looking forward to this at all. Like, I don't see Natty getting much in terms of offense because, like, they build Rhea as this unstoppable monster.
Yeah.
This is like 5 minutes at most.
Dominic Mysterio beat Apollo Crews this week after Rhea Ripley shoved Crews into the ring post, and I'm like, Apollo Crews is a pretty gigantic dude. Rhea Ripley should not be able to just... I mean, she just tossed him into the ring post, though. I'm like, he's twice your size. It's not that realistic, the way he's flying into the post. He made Dominic look really unathletic because he's just so jacked. He comes in there looking like a real wrestler, and then he's got to lose to Dominic. It was sad.
It's sad, but the problem is, too, Apollo, it never, like, really pushed himself beyond what he's always done. Like, he had that gimmick for a while.
Yeah.
And that kind of gave him something. But now he's just back to where he was. And, again, good wrestler, but in terms of character, there's not really anything there. So it's really hard to get behind him.
Yep. Do you think Rhea will have Dominic Mysterio in her corner to help her win this match? He's not booked on this show.
I mean,
she doesn't need it.
Doesn't really need the help, but, you know, to have the appearance, I guess, to help her get some heat, I guess.
Yeah, people hate Dominic.
People like her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. This could be good or horrible. This could go many different ways. I don't know how it's going to work. I'm hoping for the best. I thought the contract signing was pretty good on Raw this week. I thought the promos from both women were solid. Trish was good.
I liked it.
When Trish was talking about how, you know, this is my first contract signing, and I know this is probably no big deal for you, Becky, but you've had so many of them. I never had one because we didn't do contract signings when I was in WWE because the women didn't get all this stuff that you get, and that's all because of me. Thank you, Trish, and all that stuff. I thought that was good stuff there. And then Becky said some stuff that she's scared that Trish is scared that history will forget her. And Becky also said that the fans remember Trish as being better than she currently is, which was the line of the promo and also very true. You know, we do remember Trish.
Was the line?
I mean, it was pretty good.
The dog thing was, I think, the line, though.
Yeah, Becky says, "Welcome to the big time, bitch. Woof, woof." And then Trish got mad and pushed the contract table into her and then left the ring. People were saying that the woof, woof was a reference to when Vince made her get on her knees in the ring and bark like a dog. And if anyone was surprised at the Vince McMahon sex payoffs, you should not be, based on the TV show that he ran in the 90s and the things he did to Trish Stratus. And that was one of them. Anytime Vince and Trish were involved in a story on TV, it was like, oh, what the fuck is happening here? It got weird. A lot. Good promo. I thought it was the promo of the show. I thought it was the highlight of Raw. Hopefully they can deliver with the match. But as far as Monday Night Raw went this week, John, was that not the best thing by far? Everything else was pretty damn forgettable.
Well, I liked the whole brawling with Cody and Brock to start the show. And I didn't mind Cody coming out to confront him. I just didn't like the end result of like, oh yeah, I've got a broken arm, but I'm still going to wrestle. Like, to me, that's ridiculous. But I enjoyed the brawling. I enjoyed Brock saying, oh, there's not going to be a match. Cody can't wrestle. And then Cody comes out and Brock breaks his arm. I'm like, that's good. But then Cody being like, oh, I'm still going to wrestle. No, that's dumb. So,
and just all
there was
the backstage, can we get an update on Cody Rhodes' condition and Adam Pearce and all that stuff, and then Triple H at the end of the show. It's like, all right. It's too much.
I didn't
Boring.
mind because it showed that it's important though. So I didn't mind that too much. Just shows you like you should care about this. I mean, it's the main part of the show. Is that's the focal point of the show is Brock and Cody. So I didn't mind that. It's just what we got at the end. Like maybe people like Triple H showing up. It's a nice guest appearance, but the end result to me just kind of ruins the match almost.
How about I saw somebody put a theory out that Triple H is the one who sent Brock Lesnar after Cody. Because it's not clear why Brock is mad at Cody, and that's been part of the story. It's like Cody doesn't know why Brock hates him so much. And some people are saying, oh, maybe Triple H is the one who told Brock to get Cody because Triple H is the one who really hates Cody. I don't care. I don't care about any of that, but I did see that theory, and I thought, yeah, maybe. Maybe that's why Triple H is on TV. You know what I mean? I was like, well, what's he there for? Maybe there's a bigger reason.
The main reason that he's on there is just to show how important this is. Like Brock and Cody is like it's one of their main events of the show, and Triple H just add importance to it by making an appearance. Plus, he has history with Brock Lesnar. He's been in this position before, where he had the whole like, oh, my arm's kind of messed up, whatever, but I'm still gonna fight Brock. So it kind of plays in, I think, with Cody. So he kind of feels like, I did it. Cody can do it. But I feel, if I remember correctly, Triple H, who was banged up but not broken after the match with Brock I think after he lost, and then he was gone for a while, and then shaved his head.
Right.
But Cody apparently can wrestle with a broken arm. Ridiculous, but that's what they want to do.
Yes, I forgot they did that broken arm spot with Triple H and Brock too, right? They did that same thing. Yeah.
And then they did they thought it'd work out where Triple H, remember they all chanted, "You tapped out," and he's like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Remember that at SummerSlam?
Yeah.
That was supposed to be a big face thing for him.
He was supposed to get sympathy.
Yeah.
He was supposed to get sympathy, and then the crowd just turned on him and chanted, "You tapped out." That's pretty good. That was a good moment. Triple H just eating it there. How about this Becky and Trish match? I think Becky wins.
Yeah, but I don't think it ends here, though. Like, I think they're going to have another match.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right. I think Becky wins this one. I don't know if they have another one, though. I don't think you need it.
I mean, you just brought Trish back for this one match right here? I don't think. I think there's more to it than that.
Why?
I think Trish came back for a bit of a run here. I don't know where this run's going exactly, but I think she's actually going to do something. She got drafted to Raw, so...
Yeah. Maybe she's going to win.
It's not impossible. I mean, why not? But Becky's been gone for a while. Actually, Trish ate the loss when they lost the tag titles. Yeah, I'm still going to go with Becky like you, but, this was a tough one. I could easily see it go the other way.
Yeah. I think so, too. I think it could go either way. I'm leaning towards Becky, but I could see Trish winning, too. So Night of Champions tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be on right after Night of Champions, right here on the Ringside Report Network, on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, all the things, Rumble. Shout out to everybody watching us tonight live on Rumble, YouTube, everywhere. I see you. I see you. Thank you for watching the Ringside Report Network. We're going to be on right after Night of Champions tomorrow afternoon, hopefully around 4 p.m., maybe 4:30. I'm going to do a little barbecue for Johnny. We're going to have a nice little party. My brother will be here. It's going to be a 3-man
You did
booth.
one today.
What?
You did one today, no? I think I saw a pic you guys were cooking today, no?
Oh, I see. You're looking at somebody's Instagram, not mine.
I did.
Uh-huh.
You should realize you're out in the world there, so.
Oh, I see. I know what's going on. Other people posting pictures of me on Instagram. Not everybody knows about that, John. That's like, you know, you got to really know me to be following her on Instagram. You know what I'm saying?
I guess so. Yeah.
Well, you know
but
her
it's
too.
out there.
You know her too.
Yeah. Kind of helps.
Yeah. It is out there. Can't see my face though. Just my huge arms.
Yeah, your arms did look kind of big, but you know.
Yeah, right? But I'm holding a baby who's tiny. Like, in comparison, my arms look gigantic next to my daughter's. Because she's 1.
Well, to be fair, your daughter's getting a lot bigger. Wow. Like,
yeah.
She wasn't that big before.
Well, you'll see her tomorrow. She's huge. She's huge. She's saying words. She's saying hi.
Wow.
Hello?
That's good.
She's saying stuff. Yep, she's getting there. She's a fun kid. They're both pretty cool. All right. Enough about my children. I could go on and do a show about them, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about wrestling. Let's get to AEW, the double or the nothing. There's 10 matches on this son of a bitch. God damn.
I feel like there's more. Didn't they just announce another match?
No, tell me no. What do you mean?
I thought they just announced another one, to be honest.
I only have 10 on my card here. That's all I'm doing. I'm not previewing more than 10.
We'll go through the list, but I'm pretty sure Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, and Hook now are going to be wrestling Ethan Page, and I think the Guns.
It's on my card. It's one of the 10 matches. Okay. It's the pre-show match.
Ah, okay.
If the Hardys and Hook win, Matt Hardy will own Ethan Page's contract, whatever that means.
They're really big on this contract stuff all the time. Like every match is a contract thing.
Matt Hardy has been doing this gimmick with contracts for years now in AEW. Right?
He's going to be an agent one day or something.
So annoying. And it doesn't mean anything ever. He had the contract of Isaiah and Mark Quinn, right? He was like evil with them.
Right.
Remember all that?
30%, yeah.
And then his contract got taken, and Andrade was there. Like, there was all these contracts and all this contract talk with everything Matt Hardy has done, and now this match has a contract. So if the Hardys and Hook beat Ethan Page and the Ass Boys, Matt Hardy will own Ethan Page's contract. Jeff Hardy and Hook get nothing, but Matt Hardy will own Ethan Page's contract. Really doesn't matter for the Ass Boys. Nothing happens to them. If Ethan Page and the Ass Boys win, nothing. So, weird stipulation in this match. I'm going to guess that the Hardys and Hook win because, you know, there's a stipulation there for a reason. So stupid.
Well, it makes it easier to predict the match.
Well, yeah, but like it also makes it super dumb going into it. It's like, well, why did they make this stipulation? And if they go the other way, it's like, really, why did they make the stipulation? You know, like if the Hardys don't win, it's like, well, what was all that for?
Yeah, I don't know. I fear to know if we go down that road.
It's bad.
Well, it's a pre-show, though, so, I mean, you could miss it.
Maybe I will. It's a good point. I like that. I think I will miss it. Thanks, John. All right, what else is on this big, long pay-per-view? You want to talk about Dynamite at all? Did you like Dynamite this week?
What did I like? It's hard to find something that I liked. MJF promo with Darby Allin was all right. And was that about it? May have been about it.
MJF's promo was good. Darby Allin's boots were a little much.
Oh, whatever. I mean, MJF pointed it out, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But
they were quite
I thought
they had quite a lift to them.
Yeah. but for whatever reason they do that.
It looked weird.
But I know we kind of crap on Orange a bit for being the first match, but I thought it was all right match though with was it Fletcher?
Yeah, Kyle Fletcher.
Kyle Fletcher, yeah. That was a good match.
All
Like
right.
maybe a little too it was a little too much on the false finishes there, like 2 tombstones and like a Michinoku driver and then a Michinoku driver off the top rope. And that's still not the finish. It's like, whoa, that's a lot there, but it's still not a bad match. I thought Fletcher looked really good, and like I was like, they should probably sign him, and they apparently did right after the match. So that's a good ad for AEW. Like he was good.
Yeah. It didn't make me go, I need to see more of this guy.
I wouldn't mind seeing more.
And wouldn't mind compared to I need. Two different things.
Okay.
I need to see more El Hijo del Vikingo. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you got to watch more Ring of Honor.
Yeah. That's a hard sell for me. Isn't there a Ring of Honor show tonight?
That was last night.
Last night.
Or 2 nights ago, yeah. They had a big 3-hour show.
Okay. Cool. I don't know what happened on it, and I'm not going to investigate. All right? I refuse. Enough wrestling to watch. Although sometimes I feel like I should watch some of the other wrestling and stop watching the current wrestling that I'm watching because I might enjoy the other wrestling better. Like I should just only watch New Japan and stop watching WWE and maybe AEW too because New Japan's pretty good, But then if I did the show just about New Japan, we'd have 2 people watching, so it's tough. Tough one. More people watch WWE and AEW than anything else, right? So
I give them credit now with Collision. Now that they officially announced that it's in Chicago. I don't know about you. I had goosebumps when they announced Chicago. I'm like, oh man,
really?
Here we go.
I kind of expected it.
I'm well, I was actually thinking Jacksonville, to be honest. I'm like, oh no, they're gonna screw this up.
Was that a fake story?
I have no idea if it's a fake story or not.
I heard that the Daly's place being the backup was not true. And whoever reported it got it wrong, and it was never a plan.
Good.
I don't know.
That would have been terrible.
But yeah, they're doing their show, their first Collision show, the new Saturday night TV show, June 17th, and it's in Chicago, and everybody expects CM Punk to be there and come back at that point. I didn't get goosebumps. I was just like, oh, cool. I wonder what he'll do. I mean, it should be fine. But I'm not overwhelmed by CM Punk at this point. It's like, all right, I've seen it. It's not like before he came to AEW where it had been years since we'd seen him. And,
right.
what's he going to do? How's this going to be? It's not the same.
It's different.
It's cool.
It's still going to be interesting. What's he going to say?
What's he going to say on a live mic is going to be very interesting. And but if he goes out and starts saying things, then what then? Then they're back to square one. Then they're all screwed. It's dangerous, It's
going to be fun. I honestly can't wait for June 17th for that. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. It'll be all right. I like Punk. I think it'll be fun. I like the FTR promo where Dax went after the Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. They were like, Jeff,
yeah, that was great.
Jeff Jarrett, you're not relevant, and you attach your name to FTR because we're the hottest thing in pro wrestling, and we're not going to lose to a couple rejects from TNA. And after Double or Nothing, you could call the Queen of the Mountain to make sure you have job security. And we're not talking about your bitch of a wife, Jeff Jarrett. He said your bitch of a wife. He means Dixie Carter. I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Just firing shots at Jeff Jarrett and his wife and everything. And then Mark Briscoe came out, and he was mad. And he slapped Dax. And then as Mark Briscoe goes to leave, the Jeff Jarrett team is there. and he sees Karen Jarrett, and he pushed her, Mark Briscoe. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't think that was supposed to go down in that way, because it looked really bad. But because Karen's a heel and everybody's got tons of sympathy for Mark Briscoe right now, it's kind of like, well, okay, I guess. But it was like, oh, he just put his hands on a woman and he pushed her out of his way in an aggressive manner. And people last week were talking about MJF slapping the mic out of Renee's hand, and that was a little borderline. This was past that, but because it was Mark Briscoe and not MJF, I don't think it got as much heat in the wrestling world. People are cutting him a break, I guess. I didn't see anybody go, whoa, 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 what the fuck did he just do? Right? Nobody wants to attack Mark Briscoe right now. Fine. But he pushed Karen out of the way with his, like, gave her one of these. Like, he gave her, like, a shot. What?
Right. I don't think that was supposed to happen.
Well, no shit. I mean,
well, the idea. I think they told him, like, there'll be people in your way, just push them out of your way. I think that was the idea for it, right? And I think with Karen, it was just get close, but don't get in his way. But I guess when she came down the ramp, she was right there when he turned around. So he did what he was told, and that's what happened. But if we're watching the package now, and they kind of showed it, but didn't show it, you know?
They didn't show
like,
it.
There was like, there was a distance, whatever. They didn't show the push. They just showed that there was distance between them.
That's funny.
So,
we're literally seeing a video package for this match right now, and they did not show what Mark Briscoe did to Karen Jarrett because they're embarrassed.
So,
and Mark
that wasn't
Briscoe
supposed to happen.
should know better, but clearly he doesn't for one reason or another. And you could draw your own conclusions there. But I was like, ooh, I would not do that to a lady. I would not.
I think it's one of those situations where they're just going to move on and forget about it. But maybe try to avoid situations like that in the future where you don't put Mark in the way like that, because he'll just go on his gut feeling or reactions, and you probably want to avoid that.
It was iffy. You know, I was like, ooh, oh man, don't do that. Don't do that. Yikes. Man. Okay. I thought the Jericho Adam Cole contract signing thing was all right because Sabu came out.
Okay. Yeah, Sabu was nice. I wasn't expecting that, so that was cool.
He's going to be in Adam Cole's corner for the unsanctioned match.
Wait a minute. Like, it says on the graphic, he's the special enforcer. Not that he's in Adam Cole's corner.
Well, it's set.
So
didn't Adam Cole say he was in his corner?
Yes, but like on the graphic, it says special enforcer Sabu. So it's like, what's going on? Like, who got it wrong? Is the graphic wrong, or did Adam Cole get it wrong that he was just supposed to bring in a guy that was supposed to keep law and order in a sense?
Oh,
I think that's what was supposed to happen, but he kind of made a mention or drew it in the direction where it's like, Sabu's in my corner to stop you guys, but
yeah,
I think he's just supposed to be the enforcer for the match, so nobody gets involved.
Oh. Well, that wasn't clear on the show.
That was not clear whatsoever.
I mean, he threw a chair in Daddy Magic's face there, Sabu. He didn't attack Roderick Strong or anything, you know?
Well, I'm thinking that they had one idea, and I guess maybe they've changed the idea by the time they got through with it, maybe. It just seems like it's not really fleshed out or very clear. But by the graphic, it just says he's the enforcer.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. I like Sabu, so that's cool. Let's start with the let's get to that FTR match. FTR defending against Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. AEW World Tag Team titles on the line. Mark Briscoe is going to be the special guest referee. FTR will retain here. They will not lose to these guys.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Should be all right.
A lot of shenanigans. I expect involved, but yeah, FTR to win.
Mm-hmm. And that Jericho-Adam Cole match, unsanctioned match, Sabu is the special guest enforcer. I think Cole probably wins this, although Jericho lost that match to Roderick Strong, right, a couple weeks ago on Dynamite?
He did, but this match doesn't count towards your records, though, because it's unsanctioned.
Yeah. And
so,
is this Adam Cole's big comeback match?
Kind of. He's already had matches, but this is his first big match.
Mm-hmm.
It's Cole to win, I think.
Yeah, probably. Especially after what they did to Britt Baker. Like, there's got to be revenge, right?
Yeah, and Jericho doesn't actually lose in a sense, right? Because it's unsanctioned. So, yeah, I think Cole wins.
I think this might be match of the night.
Maybe. It's up there.
I don't know what is going to be.
I like the ladder match. A lot of potential there.
Yeah. Yeah. So we both have Adam Cole winning. We both have FTR retaining. That ladder match, Wardlow defending the AEW TNT title against Christian Cage. I like Christian in ladder matches, baby. I'm going with my fellow Canadian, Christian Cage. One of the greatest wrestlers ever. I think he takes it from Wardlow with help from the Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus is going to choke slam that Arn Anderson off the apron, through a table. He's going to kill that old guy. He's going to die, Arn Anderson. Luchasaurus will kill him. Not on purpose. It'll be totally a botch. He's going to break his neck again. Arn is going to die in the ring. Take a freaking choke slam from the top of a ladder, out of the ring, through 3 tables. And Luchasaurus is going to just destroy this man. And Christian will win. All right?
I hope you're right. I'm going against you on this one, but I would love to see Christian as champion, but I think he's just here to, make people look good. That's it. It'll be a good match, I think.
I think you need a legit TNT champion. You need a guy like Christian Cage.
Okay.
I
like the thinking.
I think AEW Collision should be the old guy show. I think that's how you draw ratings on Saturday night. It's 40+. Because I'm going to give you 2 good reasons. A, because the only people that are home on Saturday night to watch this are old guys like us. The young kids who want to watch the Darbys and the Sammys, they are watching Wednesday nights because they can, but Saturday nights they're not going to watch the wrestling. And B, you put these old guys on Saturday night like a CM Punk, like a Jericho, like Christian. All these guys that they have are the ex-WWE guys too, the Miros and stuff. The older guys, you throw those guys in there, the non-indie guys, you put those guys on Saturday night, people will tune in because those are the stars. And you don't need to put all the stars on Wednesday night because people are already tuning in Wednesday night. Like I said last week, AEW has owned Wednesday nights for wrestling now. It is their night. People will keep watching Dynamite. You don't really have to deliver all your big main event level stars on Dynamite every week. And if you just have the Bucks and Kenny and Hangman and MJF and Darby, that's already a lot that you're putting there. If you get Jericho and Christian and Punk and maybe Danielson and Moxley and stuff once in a while, if you make it kind of the older guy show, I think you'll draw a rating on Saturday night because you'll give people a reason to tune in. Where do you see the stars of AEW? The Saturday night show. Where do you see the next up-and-coming stars and the main event level talent? Because MJF, he's up-and-coming, but he's also the main event. You see that on Dynamite. And you're going to sprinkle in some of these older stars to come into Dynamite every once in a while, but their main stuff and pretty much the whole show should be about the older guys. And I think people will tune in if you do that. I'll tune in.
It's good thinking. I don't disagree with you. It's just Collision needs to have a different kind of feel, I think, compared to Dynamite.
Yeah,
Not saying that it doesn't need to be fast paced, because Dynamite's very fast paced, but
it's WWF attitude and ruthless aggression combined. It's those eras. It's the Hardys. It's Christian. It's Chris Jericho. It's CM Punk. It's Bryan Danielson. It's Jon Moxley. It's Sting. It's all those guys wrestling each other. That's fun.
yeah, but again, you sprinkle some of the newer talent as well.
Here and there.
Put the, Hobbs. Will Hobbs should be involved.
They
in the
slow
show,
things down, though. They make the show less appealing.
Yeah, but you got to start building new stars. I mean, these guys aren't going to be here forever. So
they're on Dynamite.
Also,
that's where you build them, on Dynamite. All those guys are on Dynamite, and then once in a while they get to wrestle a CM Punk or a Jericho, and they show up on Dynamite once in a while, and they take a loss or whatever to the younger talent.
Yeah, maybe. Like something like that. They also need a different kind of feel to it, though, in the sense of commentary. Like, I know they're big on Excalibur being on every show. I don't think Excalibur should be on this show. That's going to help him a lot in terms of a different kind of feel, where you don't have him being the voice of the show all the time.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you on that. I think a different commentary team would be good.
But the thing is, too, they're going to need someone to be the big play-by-play guy. Can they get somebody like that? That's the big question. I don't know if they have anybody like that. That's the problem. Like, they have Shivani and JR, but they kind of need them together in order to pull that off. And then you need someone on color as well.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know who's out there for commentary. I don't know who they're going to get. It's not really my main concern right now. My main concern is Double or Nothing. You've got Wardlow, I've got Christian, right?
Yeah, we're finally one difference so far in Double or Nothing.
There you go. We both have FTR. We both have Adam Cole. How about Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm? AEW Women's World Championship on the line. This is a big match.
Is this happening?
I think so, but there's word that Hayter is hurt, right?
Well, she got jumped on Rampage, so I thought, is that them writing this match off kind of thing?
Oh, maybe. I heard Jamie Hayter's actually hurt, which leads me to believe they're just going to do a switch of the belt, quick match, have Toni Storm win.
I wonder if the match even happens. Like, wait and see. But I think if it's going to happen, I think Hayter's going to win, though.
All right. Well, we disagree again. I think if it happens, Toni Storm wins.
I have doubts on this happening, though, because, like, why have her beat down? And, like, she hasn't wrestled when she was supposed to wrestle on Dynamite.
Do you not listen to CM Punk? They will make you wrestle even if you're hurt in AEW.
And then sometimes you just don't wrestle. Like Thunder Rosa, just relinquish the title. So, things change a lot. And I feel like with Hayter, they're going to protect her. So,
but if she's really hurt, I would have her drop the belt, because if she's going to be out for any period of time, you don't want to create another interim champion. Like, that's been done to death. Drop the belt.
Wait and see. We'll find out what happens Sunday, I guess, right? But I don't have high hopes of this match happening. I mean, why have the beatdown on Rampage if we're still going to have the match?
To give you a reason why Jamie's all messed up and can barely wrestle?
Wow, she was already messed up beforehand. She already has the tape over her arm. Now she has another thing. Like, I don't know. Wait and see.
Maybe they're trying to protect her. You know what I mean? Like, they're setting her up for a loss, but they're protecting her by having her injured and then beat down and injured and beat down to the point where she's nowhere near 100% when she loses.
Yeah, maybe. I could see that. I just feel, I don't know about you, because Wembley's going to be coming up soon, and I would think Saraya will get the title shot there, no? So you would want Hayter to be the champion going into that, I think.
Maybe. Or you do the Toni Storm Hayter rematch where you have a babyface Brit get her revenge on Toni Storm.
There's so many ways it can go down, right? I mean, things can change, right?
Yeah.
We're jumping ahead. There's still Forbidden Door, right? So
yeah,
a lot can happen.
Forbidden Door is soon, too. It's in like a month.
27th, I think, if I'm mistaken.
25th.
5th?
I
Okay.
think it's the 25th. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Sunday, so yeah, you're right. Yeah, has to be.
So again, we're split. You got Hayter, I got Storm. I like it.
Yep.
I like it. How about the main event? What I think will be the main event. MJF defending the AEW World Championship against Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, and Jungle Boy.
I think so.
I think it'll be the main event, but you've got the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite in an Anarchy in the Arena match that could also headline the show.
Yeah, maybe. It didn't headline the last show, if I'm not mistaken. Like, it was like middle of the card, no?
But this four-way does not feel like a main event. Now, when they started this program and they were headed towards the main event, I thought, this is good. You're elevating these other guys. You're elevating Jungle Boy. You're elevating Sammy. You're elevating Darby to the level of an MJF. You're putting him in a main event feud for the title, and you're establishing these guys as, these are our future players. These are the main eventers going forward, right? And I was in favor of that. But the more time has gone on, and as I've seen it play out, I don't think that Jungle, Darby, and Sammy have elevated to MJF's level. I think MJF has been lowered to their level. Where he was coming off this incredible match with Bryan Danielson in his last outing on pay-per-view, he's a world champion, looks like $1 million, and then he starts wrestling and feuding with these mid-card guys, and I think it's hurt him. I think it's hurt the world title, because now I look at this match and I go, yeah, MJF, I guess, is the main event, but it could be the Elite. And that's a problem. I think that this feud, this whole program, the way it's played out, has not worked to the level that they've expected and even the level that I expected. And I don't know why that is. I can't pinpoint exactly where it went wrong. Maybe it's, the convoluted tournament and all the Sammy Guevara and MJF stuff. That wasn't great. And I feel like MJF was kind of lowered to this weird level where he's not as strong, not as popular, doesn't have the momentum that he had prior to this whole program. And that's not good for him. So I'm disappointed with where this has all gone. Maybe other people feel differently. Maybe people feel that they have been elevated to MJF's level, but I really feel like he's been lowered through this thing. And, that happens. And again, I don't really want to blame the booking here, because when they started this thing, I was in favor of it going in this direction. But the stuffs along the way, I guess you could blame the booking, because there have been some missteps, I think. The tag team stuff, the Sammy and MJF stuff with the money and all that, it got convoluted, it got weird, and it lost steam. And I think MJF lost steam in the process. So a thing that was supposed to bring everybody up, I think has lowered MJF down to these guys' level, down to the level of a Sammy Guevara, of a Jungle Boy. I don't see this as a big draw for the main event. I don't know how many people are going to buy this pay-per-view. You got to sell these pay-per-views, and this is not a great main event because, again, these guys haven't been elevated. They're not believable as world champions. MJF is the only guy in this where you can fathom walking out still champion. Personally, if they put it on Darby, I would be pleased because I like Darby. I think Darby has been the only one coming out of this looking good, but I just don't know if they're going to make him the champion now. I think he's done well. He's come out looking strong, but I thought he looked good before this whole feud. I would have bought Darby versus MJF one-on-one the whole way through. You add Sammy and Jungle Boy in this, and I don't think they're quite there. Especially Sammy, who's had all this, like, up and down. He's a heel at first who doesn't like MJF, but then he takes money from MJF. So he's like a heel who's MJF's kind of sidekick, and they have this plan to wrestle each other at the pay-per-view where Sammy's going to lose because of money that MJF has promised him. And then the plan goes awry, and MJF blames Sammy, and then Sammy is mad, and he's telling kids to believe in themselves the next week on his promo. It's like, what the fuck is this? Sammy has looked horrible because throughout this thing, it's been clear Sammy Guevara does not know who he is. There's no semblance of a character or a backbone, and now he's supposed to be a babyface-ish going into this. Why would you cheer for a guy who 3 weeks ago was willing to take an unspecified amount of money to lay down for MJF and not become world champion? No reason to root for him. And Jungle Boy is just not that likable. The promos are just not working. And he has not been elevated in this. Darby is the only guy who's looked good. I feel like MJF has been lowered. MJF should retain the title. But I kind of want to see Darby win it. I don't think they're going to go there, but I'd like it. I like Darby a lot because I think that he's cut some very good promos leading up to this thing. I think his stuff has been solid, and his wrestling matches are some of the best in all of wrestling. Consistently, when you watch Darby Allin, it's like, oh my God, what is he going to do next? And people could say it's garbage wrestling and car crash TV or whatever you want to say about it, but the guy walks up and walks out every time he goes. You know, he survives, and it's a hell of a show. There's some stunts in it, but goddamn, wrestling is half stunt show now anyways, and Darby Allin does it better than anybody else. So, give the guy his due. It's tremendous. I'm a big Darby Allin fan. I'd love to see him win. Hell of an athlete. Hell of a guy. Very impressive. Everything I see from this guy is very impressive. So, yeah, I'd like to see him win. Don't think he will. MJF will win, but I think he's been lowered in this whole thing. What do you think?
Well, I think this could be one of the best matches we see on Sunday. Like, in terms of the build, it's probably one of the worst matches.
Yep.
They forced this way too much. Where I completely agree with you, Darby versus MJF. Darby was built enough to believably challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Jungle Boy was getting there, but he wasn't there yet. And Sammy was nowhere on the radar. So they really forced us just because of the Four Pillars story.
Whatever that is.
And it was too much. Yeah, it's too much. Like, look, yeah, it's great that AEW built these guys from nothing, in a sense, and made them stars somewhat, but they're not, going to sell pay-per-view after pay-per-view. MJF is getting there, but he's just starting, and he needs guys that are kind of established, I think, to help sell more pay-per-views. I think him and Darby, it could have worked, but they didn't go in that direction, sadly, because they had this idea for the Four Pillars. I think they just thought about what's a cool match to do, and idea was good. How we got there was just not well done. Wasn't executed very well.
Yeah,
and it's hurt us in terms of caring about the match. But
MJF,
in the end,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh,
no.
I think we're going to get a good match. That's it. I think it's still going to be a good match, though.
But MJF should have got somebody like Adam Cole or Hangman Page or Kenny Omega or John Moxley or somebody established to beat after Bryan Danielson, to go down and wrestle Sammy Guevara. It's like Sammy Guevara and Jungle Boy were nowhere near the main event. Like you said, they were nowhere near this level, and they've been put there, and it's like, what are these guys doing here? and it lowers the whole match, and it doesn't feel like a main event. And because of that, the rest of this pay-per-view feels like it's missing something. A main event, a headline attraction, a reason to buy.
Well, they had surprises. I mean, we got Sabu, right? So maybe there's more surprises.
I mean, what are they going to... Tommy Dreamer? Raven? I mean, what can you do? What can you do?
We'll have to wait and see Sunday, right? Like, wait and see.
We will be doing a post-show review of AEW Double or Nothing, not right after the show, but the next day, Monday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Johnny and I will be back here on the Ringside Report Network to do the AEW Double or Nothing post-show. We're not going to stay up that late to watch the pay-per-view, and if we are, we can't stay up that late to do a show. You don't want to stay up that late to watch us, so we're going to do it live on a Monday morning. We're going to give it time to sit. We're going to sleep on it. We're going to wake up. We're going to have a little coffee, a little breakfast, and have time to digest the pay-per-view. We'll have about, 9 hours, between the pay-per-view and when our show is on, and we'll talk about it then. So if you're looking for the Double or Nothing post-show, it'll be Monday morning, Johnny and I, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Ringside Report Network. We got a big weekend coming up. We're on after Night of Champions tomorrow afternoon, and then Monday morning for the Double or Nothing show.
You say 9 hours, might be less because the media scrum afterwards might go to like 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's it, and we'll recap that too, which will be good, right? We'll have that to recap, so we'll recap everything that has happened in the AEW world coming up Monday morning, a special Ringside Report special. Rare.
We've done it once before, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's the way to do it. With these late-night AEW pay-per-views where you have no idea when they're going to end, like, why stay up till all hours of the morning, doing a post-show when we could just live like normal people, wake up and do it in the morning, next day? I think it's better. For WWE shows where they end at like 11 p.m. and it's pretty solid, fine. But these AEW shows, you never know how long they're going to go, and it's a marathon of a wrestling show. I say save the post-show to the next day. That's my vote, especially on a Sunday.
Well, I agree, except the All Out, because that's usually Labor Day weekend. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter then.
But also, for us here in Canada, it's not a holiday on Monday. We had a holiday this past Monday.
Right.
But coming up on Monday, it's Memorial Day in the States. So that's why it's kind of easier for them to deal with. So if you're an American viewer, you could watch us Memorial Day in the morning time. So it's a good way to start your Memorial Day. And that's why they're doing the show Sunday night, I think, for AEW, because it's Memorial Day weekend. Okay, so say again.
Just going to say they're done doing pay-per-views on Sundays now because they have a show on Saturdays. So no more Saturday pay-per-views for AEW. It looks like.
Oh, so they're going to do them all on Sundays? You think?
I think so. If you're going to have a Saturday show,
yeah,
I don't see us having Saturday pay-per-views ever again for AEW.
You got MJF winning though, right? Any chance Darby wins? You think?
I'd like to see it, but no, I don't see it happening.
Okay. What else do we have on this? Blackpool Combat Club, Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta taking on the Elite, Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, and Hangman Page. It's Anarchy in the Arena. I think the Blackpool Combat Club wins this thing. I think they find a way.
They should.
Yeah.
They lost the last one, so they better win this one.
All right.
If you look it up, So, I mean,
which one did they lose? The last Anarchy in the Arena, you're saying?
Last year to the Jericho Appreciation Society. Danielson tapped out to Jericho. Something you like to forget about, but it happened.
Okay.
I think they hung him, too, if I'm not mistaken, right? They hung him or they put him in the walls of Jericho at the same time.
Okay, yeah.
Sort of double submission.
Yeah. So we've got the Blackpool Combat Club beating the Elite. Who takes the fall?
So I don't think that's going to be the main event then if the Elite's losing. I don't see them ending just like that. It's kind of a sour way to go.
Well, it's a sour way to go with MJF winning too, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you got to get used to that because he's the world champion.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, the Blackpool Combat Club probably win. Although it's the Elite's company, they just got back together. Maybe they win. I'm torn on this one. What do the betting odds say?
Well,
I've got betting odds. You want to know?
Yeah, let's hear the betting odds.
The Elite are the favorites, minus 175. Blackpool Combat Club, plus 120, the underdogs.
But we've seen with AEW in the past.
It's tough.
Doesn't mean anything really. Like, we think one way and it goes completely the opposite way sometimes. Yeah. And betting odds as well.
All right, well, I'm going with the Blackpool Club. You are too.
Yeah, I'm good with staying with my predictions. I mean, again, might be half off, half on, but
yeah,
that's the way it works out with AEW.
Jade Cargill, this should be an easy one, defending the AEW TBS title against Taya Valkyrie. Jade Cargill.
Well, we can talk about Taya's match on Dynamite. I was very disappointed with that match. Like, that was her big match to lead up to the title match with Jade. Like, I thought Lady Frost looked better than Taya did. Taya looked slow, like lethargic. Like, what was going on there in that match?
It was not very good.
That's her match leading to the pay-per-view. Like, that's your big match to impress. And she did not. I was disappointed.
She knows what's going down. It's Jade Cargill.
Yeah,
she's there to lose.
Yeah, but you gotta look better than that, like on television. Like,
okay. Well, whatever. Taya Valkyrie, she's all right, but
she's better than that. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if there's some sort of chemistry issues with Lady Frost that she had or something, she's not feeling in AEW. She's not comfortable yet or something, but we haven't seen her even close to her best yet for whatever reason.
The last match with Jade was not terrible, from what I recall.
Oh, it was awful. What are you talking
was it?
about?
I can't remember.
It was terrible.
It was on TV, right? Was it on Rampage? Maybe we weren't really watching
Dynamite.
it. Was it?
It was on Dynamite. Yeah.
God damn.
It was very bad.
I have no memory of that.
It was.
I thought it was not bad, but maybe I'm probably wrong.
Taya, like, she's just, for whatever reason, just.
Oh, wasn't that the match where, like, she couldn't use the finisher and there was like a weird finish and the finish was awful, right?
Well, twice she went for the finish when she knows she can't go for the finish.
Yeah, and Jade rolled her up with this terrible roll up, right? It was awful. Wasn't that
too?
Okay.
There was that, and there was just moves that just looked bad. Like, a lot of it was awful, and it's too bad because Taya's really good, and she hasn't shown it yet in AEW, sadly.
Well, she won't show it here because Jade Cargill's going to win.
I mean, have a better match at least. Go down fighting. Something.
Mm-hmm. The House of Black defending the Trios titles against somebody.
Against the Acclaim? No?
Oh, the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass? Yeah, right? I don't know, Mike.
That
was made official tonight, right? I don't know. I have a card here that says it's like not necessarily, it's like an open challenge, but I think it's the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. I got House of Black winning though, right? I mean, they're not losing yet. I don't like those matches they do.
Well, they're still tinkering with it, really, when you think about it. So they're not going to lose the titles right away. But I think there's potential in this because I like how it's different, and it could be really good. There's moments where it's like, this isn't bad. It's just, it's a little too chaotic a little bit. Like this week we had no tags, and it worked a little bit, but then it's like, well, then you kind of lose control of it because
there's too many stipulations. The fact that you change the stipulation of the match every week when the opponent gets to choose one, and there's weirdo lights, like, come on, man. Come on.
I thought the lights were better. We could see this.
You can't change how the match works every week. You can never get used to it because it's always something different. It's so stupid.
Well, the rope break thing. Remember, there's no rope breaks. That was a big thing that played into the finish.
I don't remember.
So something's.
I don't remember because it's always changing. I can't keep track of what the hell's going on because I care this much about it. I want to know who Lucas Matson is going to name the American CEO of Waystar. That's what I want to know about. I don't give a shit about who House of Black is wrestling and what's happening. I want to know what's going to happen to Tom and Greg in the finale of Succession on Sunday night. That's what I'm focused on more than anything on this stupid-ass pay-per-view. The Succession finale. Holy shit.
You got a busy Sunday night, it looks like.
Yeah. I just want to watch Succession and play Tears of the Kingdom. For some reason, I got to watch all this wrestling. It's like, come on, man. Let me play the new Zelda already. I've been making progress, John. I got nice stamina. I got like 7 hearts, 8 hearts maybe. A lot of shrines done. I'm getting work done in new Tears of the Kingdom. I'm loving it. So fun.
It's amazing that you're playing Tears, but you never beat Breath of the Wild. Like, I don't know how you do it.
I won't beat this either. I won't beat this game either. I'll just advance. I'll unlock a bunch of stuff, and then it'll get too hard where I have to beat really scary bad guys, and I'll give up, and then that'll be that. I'll play whatever is next in my Nintendo library.
I suggest the new Mario Advance that just came out.
What's that?
It's like Super Mario World, but they've added stuff to it. Little things.
Is that on the Virtual Console?
Yeah.
Oh, it's on the Game Boy Advance Virtual Console, right? I saw something about that.
Yeah.
Oh. And you've been playing that?
Well, I just played the opening bit because they added like a whole like story to Super Mario World, like the opening.
Wow.
They added like a new opening thing to it, so there's nice little things they added. It's pretty much the same game, but little things added. So I know you love that game a lot, so
yes,
you might want to check that out.
It's my favorite game of all time, Super Mario World.
I think you want to check that out.
I will. Hey, enjoying that Virtual Console, John? You're welcome. John's on my Nintendo Switch family plan.
It's working out, yeah.
Got the family plan. John's on it. Gets all the games. John's on it. Fred's on the family plan, too. The whole Ringside Report team's on the family plan. If AJ had a Nintendo Switch, he could be on it, too. But he doesn't.
Once he figures out what a Switch is, I'm sure he'd like it.
I mean, my mom's on my family plan, too. You could put a lot of people on the family plan. I still have a couple slots. So, it's pretty good. Gotta love that Nintendo. Okay. Speaking of Nintendo, AEW Fight Forever, the video game they announced this week, June 29th. It's finally releasing. It's coming out. And it's coming out for Nintendo Switch. And I got it pre-ordered. You see, John? You see, that's when I will stop playing Tears of the Kingdom. I'm going to play Tears of the Kingdom from now until about June 29th. I'm going to advance as far as I can. I'll probably get to some points where I'm like, I don't know. And then maybe I'll keep playing. Maybe I'll pick it back up. But I'll definitely start playing the new AEW game. And if it's good and there's a lot to do, then that's where I'll be for my video gaming. Which, I don't get tons of time to play video games because I'm raising 2 young children. So it's kind of tough to play video games. Plus, I got to watch all this stupid wrestling all the time. Yeah. That AEW video game, if it's good, I'm going to play the shit out of that. That'll be my new thing. So, fingers crossed that it's good and that it works well on Switch. Because a lot of games that are for all the consoles, when they come to Switch, it's kind of like, it doesn't really work that good. So, hopefully, Kenny and everybody from the AEW team made this game good for Nintendo, too. Don't mess with me.
I mean, wait and see. Just from what I've seen, what they've shown, feels like it plays a lot like No Mercy used to play. Remember that for the N64?
That's good.
So I think, gameplay-wise, I think a lot of people will like it. But what does it have in terms of game modes? That's the huge thing. I've seen that there's a bunch of different match types, which is fun. There's a bunch of wrestlers. That's good. But is there a story mode? Is there like a GM mode? Like, what is there? Like, apparently is there a create wrestler mode? Yes or no? I'm not 100% sure about that. I don't think everyone's sure about that. So still some questions. I think it might be okay. Definitely for their first game. I think better than nothing, right? But in terms of great wrestling game, I don't know. Wait and see. I mean, you'll tell me. So that'll help a lot.
Yeah, I've had it pre-ordered for like I feel a year or two at this point. I've had a pre-order just waiting there.
At least a year.
Yeah.
At least a year, I think.
And what worries me more than anything about the game is the price point, the fact that it's $60 when normal games are $90. Why is this game so cheap on the outs? You know, like when a game is cheaper when you buy it, it means that there's a ton of shit you have to buy afterwards. Like you want to unlock this type of match or these wrestlers, pay us $20. You want to unlock this, it's another $20. And if you want the season pass, pay us another $60 or $80 or whatever to get everything that comes out in the next, you know. And it's like, okay, now you're spending $200 on a video game instead of 90. You know what I mean? Like sometimes they trick you with that. I don't like that. I don't like when video games are like $60, but if you want to add this, it's another 80, and you know, it's like, all right, take it easy, dude. I want to play. I want to buy the game like Tears of the Kingdom, $90, bada bang, bada boom. I got the whole game, and we're good. Will there be DLC? Probably. Will it be an extra $30? Probably. Will I buy it? Definitely. But that's Nintendo. I mean, it's a quality product. I know what they're giving me. Nintendo is a proven commodity. If you've played the new Zelda game, you know what I'm talking about. It is goddamn amazing. John, the fact that you are not ultra-handing and fusing and using Zonai materials right now is very disappointing to me because I want to talk to you about the game and I want to ask you how to do things, but you're not playing yet, so I got to wait.
Patience.
But I wish you were playing this game while I'm playing this game because it's so much fun. You're going to love it. Like, you're going to love it. It's so good.
I'm not worried. You know, good things come in time.
Nintendo is the best. God. I'm such a Nintendo man. Okay. Is there anything else on this stinking pay-per-view that we have to talk about? The Blackjack Battle Royal for Orange Cassidy's International Championship. Let's see Orange drop the belt here.
Oh, you see Orange dropping the top. Okay, I had him retaining, to be honest.
We have Ricky Starks in this thing. The Butcher, The Blade, Bandito, Commander, Lee Moriarty, Big Bill, Daivari, Tony Nese, Chuck Taylor, Trent, Kip, Ray Phoenix, Pentagon, Swerve Strickland, Brian Cage, Jay White, Juice Robinson, Keith Lee, and Dustin Rhodes. Jay White, next AEW International Champion. Go for it. I would do that. Give Jay White a belt right away. Elevate that international belt by giving it to a former IWGP Heavyweight Champion, and give Jay White something to do by making him a champion in AEW. Jay White is a star that should not be in this match, and if he is in this match, he should be winning. They are wasting this man. This is his match for the pay-per-view? This is a guy who beat Okada and won the belt. Don't play with me. Jay White was the hottest free agent in professional wrestling. AEW landed him, and what did they do? They stuck him with Juice Robinson and had him feud with Ricky Starks. Enough of this. Give him this belt, and let's go with Jay White already. The Switchblade is money. Promo, look, matches. He is the total package. He's also, I think, maybe still in his 20s. He just turned 30. He's 30 years old. Like,
he's not as jacked as Luger, though. Don't say total package, but yeah.
Okay.
I think total package in wrestling, yeah.
Well, he's a better worker than Luger, and he's also a better promo, so there's that, too.
It's just the physique.
Okay, sure. But his physique is not terrible, man, compared to most guys in AEW. He looks pretty good, and he is an incredible talent. The fact that they are just keeping him in this little box is mind-boggling. They signed him.
It is.
I can't imagine he signed for cheap. What are they doing? Give him a belt. Push him up the ladder. Push him up the ladder. I'm begging you, Tony Khan. What'd you sign this guy for? I don't know.
I agree. No, I agree. You sold me on this. Like, I didn't realize he was in this, and like he should win.
Yeah.
So I'd go with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Orange retains, though.
Well, the betting odds have Orange Cassidy minus 125, the favorite. The field, that's everybody else, minus 110. So Orange favored over anybody else. But it really should be Jay White. Really should be.
I agree.
You want to know the betting odds in some of these other matches to see how we did? We made our picks, so.
Yeah, sure. See
Adam
how
Cole, massive favorite over Chris Jericho, minus 590. So I think we picked well there.
Okay.
The Hardy team, minus 500, big favorite over Ethan Page and the Guns. So, yeah, I think we picked well there. Jade Cargill, huge favorite, minus 400 over Taya, no doubt. The Elite, as I mentioned, slight favorites, minus 175 over the Blackpool Combat Club, plus 120. So we picked the underdogs in that one. You picked a big favorite, Jamie Hayter, minus 590. My pick, Toni Storm, plus 300. So we'll see.
If the match happens.
If it happens. Like I said, Orange Cassidy is a favorite in that match. Wardlow, minus 275, the favorite. Christian, plus 175, the underdog. So I went with the dog there, too. You went with the favorite, Wardlow. World Tag Team titles, FTR, massive favorites, minus 1,000 over Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, plus 400. Wow. So, yeah, we picked with the big favorites there. MJF, also a minus 1,000 favorite to retain the AEW World title. Darby Allin, plus 700. Jungle Boy, plus 900. Sammy Guevara, plus 900. So, the Vegas odds do have Darby as the second favorite to win this match, but he's plus 700, and MJF a massive favorite, minus 1,000. So, I think we mostly picked with the odds makers here. I picked a couple underdogs with the Blackpool Club, the Field, and the Blackjack Battle Royal. Christian over Wardlow, Toni Storm over Jamie Hayter. I picked a few underdogs here. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, you never know with this. Like, the betting odds are definitely not always right with AEW because the matches definitely aren't always the way you think. It's not. WWE is a lot more predictable. AEW is definitely all over the place in terms of who wins and loses.
Yeah. It's tough to predict these AEW pay-per-views. It's harder to predict than WWE. I would agree with that. Hunter's HD Gold on Rumble says MJF is the winner. He is the best they have. That's what the odds makers think. Yeah. He's definitely one of the best in the business, and I would like to see him move on quite quickly from all of this stuff. Wrestle somebody who's main evented things next. Enough of this mid card.
If CM Punk comes out at the end of this match, it would be nice.
Yeah.
It won't happen, I don't think, but
if Punk comes back, would you have him wrestle MJF and take the belt back?
I'd have the match at Wembley. I'd do that.
Would you put Punk over, though? It's hard not to in his comeback match.
Well, it's not going to be his comeback match. MJF would not. I wouldn't book that. But that would be the big match for Wembley, I think.
I mean, Punk and FTR against Kenny and the Bucks would be the big match.
I mean, yeah, but if we can't do that match,
why can't we do that again? What's the holdup? People are scared that they're gonna shoot on each other, or what?
Apparently, like there's NDAs, so maybe we'll never know.
So. Nobody wants to do the job. Like, what's the like when wrestlers don't want to wrestle each other, it's usually one of two things: can't figure out who's gonna lose, or one guy doesn't trust the other guy. But really, I mean, it's not like who's really scared of who in this? I couldn't imagine Kenny or the Bucks being scared of Punk and FTR, and I couldn't imagine Punk and FTR being scared of Kenny and the Bucks. You know what I mean? Like, neither crew is that fearsome. They're not Brock Lesnar. We saw Punk fight in the UFC. You know what I mean? Like, what's everybody so scared of? To me, it's probably the creative aspect of like, well, nobody wants to lose to the other guy, which, okay. But that's kind of petty at that point. Like, really? How about you just
There's also trust, though,
switcheroo?
too. I mean, you're putting your body in someone else's, hands, like,
And they're
someone
putting
you
their
don't.
body in yours. Like it's a
Right.
mutual trust to make the wrestling work. People have had beefs before, and they've managed to work it out in pro wrestling. I don't know. There's just so much money on the table. Can't figure why they'd walk away from all that.
Did
And if
you
I'm
see
Tony
that
Khan, I
Tony-
would really want to make that money.
Did you hear what Tony said, though, that he hasn't worked it out yet, how All In will be distributed?
Oh, that's good.
So that's very interesting. That's very interesting.
What does that mean?
It means wait and see if it's going to be a pay-per-view or not, or special channel or something. Or
Okay.
if you notice, too, this is the first pay-per-view that will be available on YouTube. You can buy it on YouTube, Double or Nothing. So
Oh, yeah?
maybe All In will just be like a YouTube thing.
That's not a bad idea. You could watch us on YouTube. You could watch us on Rumble. You could watch us on Twitch, on Twitter, on Facebook, on all the things. Johnny, I think that just about does it. We're going to be on again tomorrow afternoon, so let's get some rest here before we got more wrestling. Tomorrow afternoon after Night of Champions, around 4 p.m. Eastern Time, Johnny and I will be back here on the Ringside Report Network to break it all down. Before we go, though, you have a match you want to promote? Any big matches coming up?
Well, June 4th, I think we talked about last week. Big pandemonium show over Torture Chamber Pro Wrestling, 1000 Boulevard D'Abonair, 4 p.m. bell time, June 4th. I got the strap match, Wrestling Savage Paulson. It's a pretty big match. I was just watching today my strap match that you saw. You were there live for when I wrestled Drew Onyx. I just remember now, like, wow, that was pretty barbaric match. Like, I'm surprised I did a lot of that stuff. So now I really have to top myself for this one. It's going to be interesting.
Oh my God. That match was very violent, you and Drew Onyx. I don't want you to top yourself. It was too much. It's going to be too much. Somebody's going to get seriously injured, John. It won't be you, so maybe top yourself. Do whatever you want. Suit yourself. You'll be all right.
Well, I'll be banged up a little bit, but winning is all that matters.
That's right. Johnny North out for victory, and he's going to get another one June 4th in Laval. If you're anywhere near the Laval area, go check out Johnny North versus Paulson in the strap match for Torture Chamber Pro Wrestling. It's going to be a very good one. And that's coming up in, That's next Sunday, right? It's a week.
Yes, it's not Sunday, which is Double or Nothing. It's the following Sunday.
Wow. It's coming up. It's coming up. All right, so check that out, and check us out tomorrow afternoon, right after WWE's Night of Champions for the post show, and then come back to the Ringside Report Network Monday morning for the AEW Double or Nothing recap show right here on the Ringside Report Network. Shout out to everybody watching. I see you, Ryan Katz and Trans Am in the chat here. Alex Tarras over watching us on YouTube. Everybody on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook. We appreciate you. Go to donate.ringsidereport.net to support the channel. Donate.ringsidereport.net. And if you want to join the YouTube channel as well, you can join.ringsidereport.net. Join.ringsidereport.net to support the channel. $5 a month helps us out. The more members we have, the more shows we can do, and the more of these AEW pay-per-views we can pay for, which, why? But we're doing it for you. So thank you for supporting the Ringside Report Network. And we will continue doing these shows here for you as long as you want. If you want it, we'll do it. I mean, as long as I want as well. As long as John wants, we'll do it. I mean, we have a say, but we're here for the members. Right? Should I get out of this while I still can?
As long as we're breathing. That's the plan.
As long as we're breathing. Good God almighty. What if I can't walk? Do I still have to do this? I don't know. I might lose the flavor.
You've done it before. You've done the show on crutches.
That's true. It's happened. Yes. Got shitty ankles. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow afternoon, right after WWE Night of Champions, right here on the Ringside Report Network.
Please join in and give your support to Ringside Report Network. We've been providing expert coverage and commentary on both pro wrestling and MMA for over 15 years. Go to ringsidereport.net/support to find out more ways to support the channel.